Hey guys, Blockhead here, and welcome to another episode of Dissecting Minecraft, where we try to teach you all the tricks that make you a better Minecrafter, and usually fail at it. Well, I'm just been working on some stuff. I know I promised you guys a long time ago that I'd come out with an episode explaining exactly how my mob crusher system worked. Not real complicated, but I figured it's something worth going over if you guys hadn't seen it before. And today, that's what we're going to be talking about: is XP farms and mob killers. How do they work? This episode's not going to give you a real detailed explanation of redstone and how it works, but I'm hoping to give you guys enough information that you can at least fumble through this design that we've got over here and get it working in you guys own Minecraft worlds. But we'll start out with, I guess, first question is, we'll start out with what's a oh shoot, hang on one second, forgot to turn this off. We'll start out with first what's a mob, what do they do, what are they for, and most importantly, why do we want to kill them? And mobs, when they first were introduced to Minecraft, really all we needed them for was the items that they dropped when we killed them. And I know back when I was originally playing Minecraft, we killed zombies for feathers, so that's neither here nor there. But now we kill mobs for experience as well, so that we can enchant our items and things like that. So we'll start with this design here. This is the first mob killer system that I ever became aware with. This is just different inputs, and most of these killers, I just built the killer crusher fall system, whatever it was. Just built that. But most of them are connected to either a spawner block or a darkroom spawner. But as you'll see, I'll throw some mobs in here. As you'll see, the first types of mob spawners that I was familiar with is the lava killer system, which all this does, your mobs will flow into your lava, it kills them, and they drop all their goodies, and we come down here and we pick up the goodies, and all of them just flow to you. And that was the first system that I became aware of, and that was when the only thing that really mattered was the items that mobs dropped. But now that things have changed a little bit, let's change our game mode. Now that things have changed a little bit, we need mobs for many more things. We need them for the experience that they drop. So, you can see the XP drops when you kill them, and you have to kill them by your own hand. You can no longer kill them with lava to get you can't get the experience by killing with lava. So now we have to use a sword to kill them. So the easiest way is just to collect them at one point and then slice them all. But since we can't really do that, or since that takes forever to do, next systems that people started coming up with were, which here's just another example. This is a little fall drop where many times we would use these back when all we needed was the items, and it would kill the zombies, skeletons, whatever they were. But now that we have our new systems, now that we need XP, which I reviewed in our previous episode as to how far you needed to drop them. But now we can drop them a certain height, and all we have to do is punch them once, twice, a couple times, and they'll drop their XP and their items. But problem with some of these systems, and I like them, I use them many times. You guys saw me use them in my LP series. Many times we don't want this big fall drop system above it. So what I used most recently, and I told you I would explain, is this this system that involved a piston to crush the mobs. It just pushes a block over and crushes the mobs so that and crushes them for a specific amount of time so that we can kill them real simply. So I'll just demonstrate how this system works. Piston pushes a block over and crushes the mobs. You can see the timer. I went over this in my Let's Play series a little bit, and then all I gotta do is punch each one once and they'll drop their goodies as well as their experience. So what we'll do, we'll go through each portion of this system and how it works, and right over here I've got each little portion set up. And basically the first thing, all we have is a place to trap the mobs, which so that we can hit them and damage them without them damaging us, which just consists of, you know, a block down below and then a couple of blocks, one space between, and then blocks that block the view of the mob so he can't see us, so we can hit him, he can't hit us. That's all that is, you know. And then beyond that we have a crusher added to it, so we can just crush the mobs. But in order to get that mob damaged enough times, we don't want to hit the button over and over. We needed a timer so that we can set a timer to it. And the timers are made, they're pretty simple how they're made once you understand them, but there's two main components of one of these timers. And first component of the timer is what's called an RS NOR latch. And the way you build one of these RS NOR latches, you can see it's just built in a 3x3 space. There's many different methods of building an RS NOR latch. I found this to be the easiest one to remember, easiest one to use. You may find some of your favorites somewhere. You can simply type in to YouTube RS NOR latch Minecraft and you'll come up with, you know, probably 10-15 different configurations of this. But the way this works, the way I first heard it explained, it's like a memory box. When I hit this button, instead of the button just sending a few second pulse through the wire, it actually switches it. So if I hit this button, it's going to turn over to here and this side will be on, versus if I put an input into this system, which all these buttons are just inputs into it. When I push this button, it'll turn on this side. So what that allows you to do is have different inputs that will have an actual on signal to different spots. So what this allows us to do is create a timer. And the way the RS NOR latch works, I'll explain that real quick. You can see whenever you put power into a block, what that does is any torch connected to it will turn off. So when we hit this button, it will try and turn this torch off. However, that torch is only going to be off as long as we receive a signal from this button. However, the way this reacts differently is this torch, when it turns off, it will also turn this off, which, since this is off, will then turn this torch on, which also circles around and tries to turn this off. So you constantly have this torch trying to turn this torch off, and this torch trying to turn on and turn this torch off. However, since the power, I may not be doing a real good job of explaining it. You don't fully have to understand exactly how it works, but basically the power comes when I hit this button, turns this torch off, which allows this one to turn on, which can turn this one back off again. And even though this is no longer receiving power to turn this torch off, this torch now is turning that torch off. And when I inversely hit this button, it does exactly the opposite. So Now that I have you guys thoroughly confused, we're going to go through how this thing works. The actual timer, how it works, it's the same thing, just an RS NOR latch, which my input's going to come from this button. And when I hit this button, it's going to turn, switch that torch off, which is going to become important how these are configured, so pay close attention to that. When I hit this button, what's going to happen, it sends a power down this line, hits that, and then switches your other torch on, which sends a signal out this, which will be connected to your crusher. And you'll see what happens is this is on, however it turns off because we have this timer connected. And you can see as soon as we hit that button, it sends us pulse down through all these repeaters, which eventually comes back to this block. And these repeaters, how they work, if you've never dealt with repeaters very much, is each repeater can have a timing of up to 4 ticks, and you right click on it to change that timing. So like you can see 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, and 4 ticks. So what we have is 24 repeaters, all lined up in a line, and every repeater is on a full 4 ticks, so the maximum amount that the repeater can go, plus the very last repeater. Hang on one second, let me get a drink. The very last repeater is 1 short, so it'll be set on 3 ticks, as you can see here. So what we'll have is when this comes back, this will be completely turned on, or it'll be turned on indefinitely until this signal comes back. And what that does is that gives you an input to turn this back off and that back on, because this redstone will depower that torch. So that's basically how it works. We'll go ahead and build the thing so you guys can see how it's built. Real simple. Here is your mob trapping system. Simply like this. I'll be right back. I'm going to expand a little bit. Expand this out just a little bit so we can have some room to build, and I'll be right back. So see you guys in a sec. Alright guys, I'm back, and we're going to go ahead and build this thing. And the way this works, typically the easiest way to learn how to build something is just to watch somebody else build it and then try to build it yourself. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. But I've been working on a couple of little things. I've been working on some things, working on some video editing, so I got something to show, a little thing to show you guys, and it should be appearing right about now. And I strive, you can see the little guy down there, but I strive to give you guys the best quality possible, best quality videos, and the last thing you guys need to do is sit through me 100 times over every single video saying, oh, please like, subscribe, comment, because that just gets annoying after a while. But now I got this little guy to remind me of how to do it, or remind you guys, and most importantly, please do like the video, because that's great. It gets more people seeing it. But more importantly, please leave a comment as to what you guys like. If you like these tutorials, tell me, oh, can you do another tutorial, go a little more in depth, explain this, because the whole reason to do these videos in the first place is to explain the game, how it works, and yeah, so that you guys can understand that. So as always, yeah, I'll have my little guy there I'll start sticking him in videos so he can remind you guys about it, and you don't have to listen to me remind you over and over. So And what we're doing here, we're just setting up, you know, our button that we can push to start this thing. A little redstone to go. And as I was explaining before, this is going to be your output of the timer, because it's going to that, and this is going to be your input to start the timer. So the way this is going to work, we'll use cobblestone so you can see the difference, is you're going to want your input to come into the block that, well, where's my torches? You're going to want your input to come into the block that actually turns off a torch. So, well, actually we'll do it this way. It'll actually turn off a torch. It's going to turn off the torch that's opposite the output to the piston. So you'll see I've got my RS NOR latch, simple construction block with a torch facing this way, attached to another block with another torch that is facing back into this block. And your output is actually going to connect right here. And what that output does when, of course, you hit this button, come in, power this block, which switches everything around and pushes that piston out. Now that piston, that sticky piston, is going to stay out, which I didn't mention that before. This is a sticky piston, so it pushes the block out and pulls it back. That sticky piston is going to stay out until something comes back around to this block to bring that piston back out. So that's what we're doing with the timer. I've got another thing that comes off the line that comes from my button, so that when I push that button, it also brings some power out that line. And then what I'm going to need, I'm going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That should be enough. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Because like I said, we're going to need 24 repeaters. Let's move this one. We're going to need 24 repeaters, and each one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to move them from 1 tick up to 4 ticks. So what we'll have in the end is 23 repeaters set all the way up to full, and then 1 repeater that's only set up to 3, that's only set to 3 ticks. So 1, 2, that'll put us at 3 ticks. So, and that is going to come back around, like I said before, back into this block, which will then give us our input to flip this back off. So if we push this again, of course it's going to come and turn this piston on, and it's going to send something around that timer, and boom. So what that'll do is that'll crush your mobs for the appropriate amount of time, and this crushing time works for either zombies, creepers, or skeletons, which is typically all you're going to want in your system. So you're typically going to set up your dark room or your, say, zombie spawner or skeleton spawner in order to do that. But I hope this was informative to you guys, and I really appreciate it. Keep tuning in, and the next episode, we're going to be over in that area, and we are going to be talking about potions. Yes, potions, because we have been doing actually a whole lot of brewing in our Let's Play. We've been brewing a lot of potions, using some potions, and we've used, we've used fire resistance, we've used invisibility, we've used healing, and potions are something that is a very useful part of the game. And we've used the fire resistance when we went back into the nether. I don't think I had that on video, but we went back into the nether and killed some blazes, and we used invisibility in the episode where we killed a bunch of creepers and made some fireworks. And then we also have been using splash healing potions, which I think I got one. That's regeneration. There it is. We've also been using splash healing potions for when we build up a whole bunch of mobs. Here, let's do this. So when we build up a whole bunch of mobs, we've been using splash healing potions. Because I got... oh, man. Let's do creepers. Well, I don't know if I can do it. So... say we got a whole bunch of guys in there. You know, you can either sit there and after you use your timer, you can either sit there and you can pound them to death with a sword and completely destroy your sword, or you can simply throw, which zombies and skeletons of course use healing potions to damage them, but creepers, if you did have creepers in there, you would use a damage potion. Since zombies and skeletons are undead, you would use, of course, a healing potion. And creepers, since they're not undead, a splash potion of harming is going to kill them all, and I can grab all their experience and upgrade my stuff. So, like I was saying before, I hope this was real informative, and I will see you guys next time when we'll be talking about potions. So, talk to you guys later. Peace.